Morning, I think it's day 78 of the oak tree sit spot. Autumn has definitely arrived at the tree. Don't know how many days it is since I've been here, probably about 2 or 3. I thought that some more of the tree had come down in the storm Amy, but it hasn't. It's just the branch that fell a number of weeks ago now. High tree. Yeah, I wish I could sit for a little while, but I've got a rucksack full of heavy food in there, so nothing to sit on particularly, and don't want to get bitten. Some leaves stuck to the trunk. Nothing much has happened here, I don't think. Beer bottle top, and that's about it. That's my stuff there. Yeah, it's a lot later. So I've come out today. Things are getting more and more impossible. And it's not as if I'm not trying to change my situation. I mean, there's that saying, isn't there, that the definition of madness is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different outcome. But I've never done that in my life, you know. If I'm not happy, I try and change it. But the problem is, nowadays, you're having to rely on people that are supposed to be there to help when they just profoundly let you down and mess you around all the time, you know? And what are you supposed to do? I had to renew my fit note with the doctor yesterday. Went out my way to see the same doctor, have a bit of continuity. 10-minute slot as usual. So I wrote down what I had to say, all about my situation, being not able to cope with being in a caring role for somebody with dementia and a heart problem when I've got my own illnesses and risks of homelessness and all the other stuff I've got to deal with. But, you know, just no comment, you know, just Well, what do you want then? Can you renew my fit note? So she renewed my fit note for 3 months. And then said, oh, by the way, Redbridge have been in touch, and because they deem OCD and PTSD you can't recover from them. We're not going to bother, they're not going to treat you because they're conditions that you've got to live with. So I could have told them that. I told them that right from the start when I had the mental health assessment nearly a year ago now. I said, look, because they only cater for people with mild depression and anxiety if you're on the NHS and you've got a mental health problem. And I said, look, I've got chronic OCD and PTSD, so before we go any further, if you can't cater for that, I'd rather not have this assessment. She didn't listen. Put myself through all that, and I put myself through another one recently. So basically just written me off as being a lost cause and said, oh, we can put you on a waiting list for psychotherapy, so on another waiting list. But they hadn't let me know. She said, oh, well, why didn't you let me know? And she said, oh, it's just a recent thing, it's just recently. And then I was waiting for a call from Women's Aid to help me fill in my homelessness assessment. 10 minutes before we were due to have a conversation, she texted and said, oh, I'm so sorry, something's come up. When are you free? You know, I wasted around all day. And the last woman did the same thing but didn't let me know, you know, that something had come up, and that was really damaging. So I've, you know, done my best, opened up to this new woman. She hasn't done anything that she said that she would. Told her my story, and either doesn't write it down or doesn't remember, and makes me prove that I'm fleeing from, you know, abuse, as well as the situation. You know, I try and move house, do everything I can to get myself out of the situation, but when you're perpetually let down by people, what are you supposed to do? And they expect you to bounce back as if I'm made of Teflon or something. So I've been doing some fucking woman staring at me now. Fuck off. Got about a month until my assignment's due. Jan's messed up her bank card, so I'm having to buy the food for both of us. God knows how long that's going to be. Got no money. I don't know, it's just... trying to give myself a fighting chance, but the harder you try, the less help you get, because you're deemed able to function, doing things because I'm determined. I'm trying to take responsibility for my life, but I don't know. Anyway, better get back to hell. I mean, who sleeps in a field in a foreign country for 3 nights to change the situation? I mean, that's how hard I've been trying. I don't know many people who would do that. None of them take any accountability for their behaviour either. It's just like, oh, we're getting paid, what do we care? It's just nice to be here. Okay then, it's the latest instalment. Bye. So nice here. Best medicine. What can I say? Go home, spend another day in front of the computer trying to do this assignment. But this is what I would rather be doing this. If I'm not going to get anywhere in life, I'd rather be spending my days like this. Alone. Surrounded by beings that don't judge, threaten, demand. It's hard to care about climate change when you're trying to survive sometimes. But you don't know what the point is of being alive, because to hang on to any sense of self-worth nowadays is really hard. And people, the doctors telling you that you're not worth treating. I mean, how disgusting is that? But they force you to engage with these people just so that you're allowed to rest. Not allowed to rest, not allowed to recover unless you go through these channels. Gone back to spending the majority of my time in bed again, round the circle again, deep depression, and then you come up, you get yourself back on track, and then sooner or later you're having to deal with shitty people again, and then you go back down the other side of the circle, back into bed, spending as much time as you can in bed. I've got to write a literature review, and I'd rather be reading about trees, so I think that's what I'm going to do. I'd rather be reading a Charles Dickens novel. I'd rather be playing my piano. Looking at squirrels. I'd rather be at the Peace Garden. Just simply being with people, nice people, normal, people. Give myself a break. Okay, bye again.